I want someone who is chalant. I don't want nonchalant. I want a chalant guy, please. What exactly do men want? The reason why I think we no longer have loud lover boys and lover girls as well is because we have seen dust. And sometimes I do wish that Africans were a bit more like white people when it came to marriage. It's either you marry from your culture or you bounce. Hi everyone, my name's Debbie, a girl with a wireless microphone and way too many opinions for her own good. Welcome to the very first episode of Dust is Constant, the series where we read real stories about when life shows you dust. And by dust, I mean those moments in relationships, friendships, business, and even corporate world where things just don't go your way. I know we all have a story or two. I have a story or two. Watu walinaswa na M Global. Hi, how are you doing years later? Guilty. In true lover girl style, today we're diving into love and relationships, from unromantic encounters to confusing expectations to lesson learned the hard way. I have pulled up 4 Reddits from the Kenyan subreddit where people have shared anonymously, of course, and we are going to unpack what they have shared and read a few of the comments on those posts. And I have a feeling we're gonna cringe a lot because I am cringy. Anyway, so grab your tea, settle in, and let's talk about the dust of life, because one thing about life, dust is constant. Thank you very much. This story, it is titled, Why is Dating So Hard in Kenya? Does anyone have good stories to share? And it reads, Hi there, 30F here, living and working in Nairobi. Ethnically, let's say from up north. Fun fact, I did not know where up north was. I had to look it up. And according to Google, it's somewhere along Turkana or near Turkana. I've dated outside of my race and culture. I find it freaking hard dating in Nairobi. Some friends have told me Kenyan men will simply not go against their mothers or slash parents' cultural obligations for someone like me, meaning a modern, ethnically different, independent woman who isn't religious. I refuse to believe this is the I refuse to believe this is the case for all Kenyan men, but at the same time, I hear so many horrible dating slash relationship stories coupled with my own failed experiences. It makes me believe it's hard to find successful intercultural partnerships in Nairobi. Oh my. You know why I love this? Because I feel like this is so relatable for almost all the countries in Africa. I am from Congo and we also have cultures. I am from the culture, I am a Nandi. We are from the Yira culture. And our tribe is very, very strict, if I may, on dating within your tribe. And us, the new generation of Nande children, Nande women, Yira girls, we're constantly fighting against that because it has its own problems. And I feel like it's kind of like the same thing in Kenya. I haven't personally experienced it firsthand. I mean, I'm 23, haven't had enough experience yet, but I can imagine that it's kind of like the same way it is for us. But one thing I have noticed about Kenya, there is so much tribalism, and it only makes sense that it also seeps into the dating realm. I mean, if it can seep into elections, what is dating? Are you getting what I mean? And I think it's kind of frustrating that this is a person who is established, okay? This is a person who has built their life brick by brick. This is a woman who has done her work, who has built herself, but she's still facing the same dust that someone who hasn't done any of the work faces, which kind of makes you wonder, what exactly do men want? Because you said you wanted a strong, independent woman who doesn't ask you for money. Here they are, but they're not too this, or they're too out of your culture. I don't know. I just find it really, really weird. And sometimes I do wish that Africans were a bit more like white people when it came to marriage, in that they don't really care what their families say. If they're in love and they've done, their quote unquote homework on you, and they're like, yeah, I'm in love with you, you're the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. I really wish that we could also not care or mind that we weren't from the same place. Like, we can build our whole family, we can build something new, we can mix cultures, we can marry cultures, but somehow it has been deep rooted in us that no, it's either you marry from your culture or you bounce. And I don't really like that. I don't like that at all. She also talks about how sons can't do anything without their mother's approval. And this is also something that I have personally witnessed in my culture. A lot of men are very mother dependent. Like they can't do anything if their mother doesn't say yes or if their mother doesn't approve. And they will literally break an engagement if the mother simply does not like the wife. And I think it's crazy, and I think at some point that cord needs to be cut. The umbilical cord needs to be cut, and men need to start making decisions for themselves, because you're gonna be 40, 50, 60, and you're gonna be like, damn, what was my life? I never did anything that I liked because I wanted to make my mother happy. I wanted to make my mother proud. And that's not right. One thing my sister and I always tell our parents is that we will not marry from our culture. It can happen. If it happens and no one had a hand in it, then fine. But telling me that the only way I'll get married is to marry my culture, it's not happening. I love you, I love my culture, but it's simply not happening, because I feel like those things, they do more harm than they do good. Let us learn to embrace culture and to unify ourselves as one. We are from the same country, for goodness sake. What do you mean? Oh, what to east, what to west, you're this and this, honey? Are we not from the same land? Are we not from the same land? I feel like I'm getting riled up because of this, but yeah, I really do feel for this woman, and this definitely does suck. She did add an update, and it says, just a quick edit to say a big thanks to everyone that took their time to share their story. Not many positive ones on this thread, lol, but I loved reading them. Thanks also to guys that shared their words of wisdom. I appreciate it and love that I learned some things from this post. My take home is I'm not alone. Lots of us are trying to be ourselves and hoping for the best. That gives me hope. And I also made a couple of new friends. Oh, that's cute. And yes, this is not a uniquely Kenyan problem. I know it's hard to date all over the world. No offense intended. Thanks, guys. Cheers. I really love that update. So it looks like it's something that a lot of people, even beyond Kenya, actually face when it comes to dating. But I feel like the whole cultural thing is more centralized in Africa. There's this comment I wanted to read that I really liked. I am also 30F and very secular minded, hence not compatible with probably 99% of the dating population. Had to break up an engagement 2 years ago because of religious and I suspect cultural issues too. I have no positive experience so far, but haven't delved into the dating scene yet and spent a lot of time indoors because of remote work and Rona 19. Can I say COVID 19 on YouTube? Time will tell. You sound like a really interesting person, and I love that you have been courageous enough to go against societal and cultural norms. I am certain you will eventually get someone who is compatible with you. Just stay true to who you are. I love this comment, especially the last part where she's like, just stay true to who you are. You should stand your ground. I like that you stood your ground and remain true to you, who you are. And someone who likes that is actually going to show up. One thing my friend likes to remind me in when it comes to content is create content you actually enjoy creating, and people interested in that content will find you. And I think it also applies in life. Keep doing the things that you love, keep doing the things that are true to you, and the people who actually like, enjoy and appreciate the things you do will find their ways to you. So that is, I think, that can be our takeaway from this story. No, despite the cultural issues and all that, we can get through it. I don't want to dive into religious ones because to each their own on that one. But when it comes to culture, we really, really, really do need to grow up a bit. Thank you. Next story, please. This one literally just says lover boys. Okay. And it reads, are there any romantic men out here? I'm genuinely curious. What happened to sweet good morning messages, surprise flowers, thoughtful dates, and just being emotionally present? Flashbacks. I'm getting flashbacks. Like seriously, how much is a bouquet of flowers or a simple walk and quality time? Nowadays, it's all nonchalant vibes and low effort, and honestly, it's not even cute. I agree. It's not cute. I want someone who is chalant. I don't want nonchalant. I want a chalant guy, please. We just want to feel loved and seen. That's it. Don't be shy to show your love for your significant other. Love loudly, love proudly. Kwani utakufa. Like, will you die if you show love and affection? And then she closes with, anyway, Yesu alitupenda zaidi. Happy Easter to all the lover boys out there. Msi, msiwai nyimwa. Took me a while to read that. Anyways, I love this post. Number one, because I feel the same way. Number two, because this really hurts. The reason why I think we no longer have loud lover boys and lover girls as well is because we have seen dust. I am a self-proclaimed certified lover girl. And if I started to tell you the amount of dust I have been shown for my lover girl tendencies, this entire series will just be on dating, Debbie's failed talking stages, dating attempts, and nakadhalika, because it's very, very crazy. And I feel like there was a rise in nonchalant behavior a while back, and I feel like it's kind of stuck, and people have been stuck in that loop. People think it's cool to be nonchalant, but I also think another thing that we can add on this is the illusion of options. People thinking they will always have options when it comes to like a life partner, or when it comes to loving someone. And that is a very, let's say, it's not a correct assumption. It is not a correct assumption. But truthfully, I feel like most lover people just got tired of being burned for their efforts, that they stopped showing their love to their fullest potential. And I did catch myself kind of leaning towards that in my last failed talking stage. But then I kept reminding myself, at the end of the day, whether you do this or not, you still need to come and ask yourself whether this is true to who you are. This goes back to the first post. Are you being true to yourself? Are you being true to who you are? And I think if we navigate dating in that format, instead of oh, I'm gonna match energy, oh, blah 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 blah, then that way we can remain true to ourselves and love fully. I don't know, but am I making sense, or am I just blabbering on? Anyways, yeah, this is definitely sad that we have gotten to the point where a lot of people are very nonchalant, and it sucks. There's a time I dated someone who we never went on dates with, and one time I literally broke down crying talking about all that, because I will send them a list of very cheap dates, or very cheap gifts, or very cheap things, just to get him to get me something, to get him to act. Things did not change. I cried. Things did not change. And it made me feel so horrible, because one thing about me, I love deeply and I love intensely, even platonically, by the way, even in my friendships, not just relationships. And so it's very painful when you are pouring into someone who's not pouring into you. I hate that word. People have really ruined that word for me. Anyways, but you get what I mean. And after that experience, I was like, I will never do anything lover girl again for someone. But I did. And that also didn't work out. And you know what? I did it again, and that also did not work out. And you know what? I'm gonna keep on doing it again, because that is just who I am. And I'm thankful that I get a heart that loves and a heart that feels things deeply, instead of acting like I am nonchalant simply to put a face. There's a comment I loved that I wanted to read, and it says, us lover boys, we have been through the hands of careless girls, and it's also the reverse for girls, by the way. I feel like we should have a lover boy and lover girl conference or something, so that we meet like-minded individuals. Sign me up for this. When you actually have this event, please call me. Please call me, because I feel like, yeah, the streets out here, the streets out here. But also, I do want to bring a disclaimer. In the very first stages of a talking stage, or when you start meeting someone, there is something called love bombing. Yeah. And I know a lot of us don't think it's something big, because we are like, yeah, that's how I deserve to be treated and loved. It's all fun and games until they stop, and then it plays on your mind, and you start questioning your entire identity, questioning your entire sanity. So when you do see someone coming on strongly to you, like this is the first week we've started speaking, they've called you 1,000 times, they've sent you different surprises, they've sent you money, they've sent you flowers. It can't feel good in the moment, but it is not healthy, because your heart will not have time to sit with whoever this person is, and your mind is going to be clouded by whatever they're bringing you, and you might end up staying in that situation or that relationship for far too long, for longer than you should have, if you just took time to get to know them without all the extravagant gifts, all the extravagant dates and all that. I'm not saying receiving flowers from someone you're just starting to talk to is bad. I am saying pay attention that it is not overwhelming to the point where you're no longer thinking straight. Okay? Okay. Next one, please. I'm having fun. This one says, what is the role of a girlfriend in a relationship? So I just wanted to ask, according to you, what are the expectations of a girlfriend in a relationship? Whenever I see this post, it's usually from a man who wants to bring up, what do you bring to the table as a woman? My favorite response to what do you bring to the table is, what are you lacking that you want a woman to provide? Now, you can take this in two ways. You can take it as an insult, or you can take it as a genuine inquiry and actually answer it respectfully. It all comes down to you. Anyways, so this is a very interesting one. Let's read a comment that says, whatever they and their partner decide. And I really love this so much, because I feel like we try to take other people's rules for their relationships and implement them in ours, and then we end up burning out because this is just not how we are. Like, let's say for instance, my thing with my partner is we pray together every Wednesday night for 1 hour, yeah? And I see someone else, their relationship, they fast for like 3 days straight together, and they try to bring that to our relationship. The thing is, it's gonna crash. Why? Because our foundation is weak. Why? Because we saw someone else do it and we wanted to do it too. We did not take in account our schedules, our schedules. I think that's the only thing that you need to take account to when it comes to like something like that. But I hope you're getting my point. I really love this response, because a relationship is between two people, and then it evolves to two families. When you get married, you also marry their family. Just saying. So, like, when it's a relationship, try not to listen to so much of other people's advice. They might mean well, but it might not just work for the kind of relationship you have. I saw this lady, her relationship with her husband is she cooks and he cleans, yeah? But there are some times that he will cook and he will also clean. And some people try to come for them for that, but they're like, hey, this just really works for us, and we have no problem about that. For others, it can be she does all the house chores, all the housework. He deals with all the bills. That's kind of like the conventional way. And that works for them. And for others, that might not work. It might be we are all contributing in all aspects of the house, and we are also contributing on all aspects of the bills. Or it can be we are both contributing to the bills, but she is taking care of the entire house, or he is taking care of the entire house. It really does boil down to what you guys want and what works for you guys. And yeah, it's a relationship between you two and not the external force. However, I will say, in as much as you shouldn't listen to other people's opinions or thoughts when it comes to your relationship, if too many people you are close to in your life do raise a few concerns about your partner, it is wise to pay attention to them, because they have known you for quite a long time. They know how you are, especially if it's like close friends and close family, close friends and close family, people you have like a really good relationship with. I don't think you should dismiss their concerns about your partner, especially in the very early stages. They know you, so let's do that with a grain of salt. Last but not least, we have true love. Oh, I love the title. Let's see. Looking back at the things that made me happy and at the relationships that fulfilled me, I realized a common pattern. I do not know whether it is the same for everyone, but for me, there was true love when the other person was basically themselves. Nice. You love their personality or their character, not because they are pretending, but because it is them being them. It doesn't require a few dates or hours of calls or money, or who is providing or who is cooking. If or who is cooking. It was primary things flowing and feeling good most of the times. I share the thought that all those semantics Definitions and steps that we believe should happen for our relationships are all sham. Your first true love did not start with 90-day rule or 3 dates or who should be providing. Am I wrong? And you see, this is exactly what we've literally spoken about. Like when you love someone, it doesn't matter. Like all of the these are the things are basically noise, and I really do like that. And I feel like I do relate to this because my first love, I fell in love with them for them. It was a very weird realization that I was in love with them, to be honest. And when I think about it now, it was for like the most stupidest of reasons, but it makes sense. It was who they were, like this nerdy cutie guy. If you're nerdy and wear sunglasses and will cosplay as Reed from Criminal Minds. Anyways, I love this. It basically goes down to say love is not some extravagant thing, or it's not some extravagant, confession, or extravagant dates, or extravagant 3, 5, 10, 15 hours phone calls. It's literally in the simple things. There's this song called Tuesday, and it's so beautiful. And it basically says, love is the Tuesdays, because people don't think about Tuesdays so much. It's just the second day of the week. Nothing much is going on. It's chill. And I really do think that love truly is the Tuesdays. Let's read a comment. You're not wrong. These days, people often set relationship checkpoints like the 30-day or 90-day mark because you really can't be sure of someone's intentions, especially given their past experiences. That is very unfortunate, and it's sad that we have to go through extreme measures just to make sure we're not being played with, or we're not being made to look like idiots. And it's sad. Many people enter relationships without being honest about what they truly want. Facts, often hiding their real feelings just to get what they're after, usually something physical like sex. It's understandable that this can be frustrating, but I think it's completely normal. In fact, it might be necessary. I don't know what the point was trying to be made here. I like, yeah, people do get in, people are never like honest with why they want to get into relationship. And some will play pretend because they want to sleep with you. And it's sad. And I have reached the point in my life where when a man is interested in me, the first thing I tell them is, I will not sleep with you. And that usually gives them the choice whether they want to proceed or whether they want to stop. And 99% out of the time, most of them have stopped it there, which I don't mind now, but I do mind when it's happening, because it's like another one picks about, another one loses the game. So yeah. And she says that in fact it might be necessary. So she basically means that sex might be necessary. For this one, I would beg to differ. I will say that most of the times when we do crave it, it's either we're craving intimacy or closeness, and there are so many different ways you can experience those two things without necessarily sleeping with someone. And I am a firm believer in that you can experience intimacy and closeness with someone without sleeping together. That's just what I personally believe. Anyway, she continues, people want to be loved for who they are, but they often hide their true selves out of fear of rejection or lack of connection. Sometimes someone might pursue you not because of a genuine emotional connection, but because of how you look and how that benefits their image of self-worth, my Jehovah. Or self-worth, making them feel like they've upgraded from their last relationship. Ah! You know why I'm crying? Do you know why I'm crying? It's because I feel like this happened to me. Not to say that I am all that, but honey, I am all that. anyways, I feel like this is sad because this unlocks a new fear in you. You're like, okay, are you with me because you generally feel like we have a connection, or are you with me because you want to feel like you can pull someone like me? People, by the way, do that. They pursue you just so they can tell their friends or brag that they were able to bag someone as beautiful or someone as handsome as you. And that is so wrong. Can we please stop playing with people's feelings and emotions? You do not do that to a human. Please don't do that. It's painful. Yeah, it's sad that we now have to watch out for whether someone is actually with us for because they feel a connection or because they just want to brag. She closes off with, This is just my take, but I believe many people still lack self awareness. Very true. And even if they are aware, their reasons for being in a relationships might not match yours. Very true again. That's why it's important to approach things mindfully, not just based on emotions or chemistry. You need to consider the possibility that the other person may not be genuine. Oh my goodness, yeah. Over time, usually within those 90 days, their true behavior will show because habits eventually reveal the truth. I love this. Habits usually reveal the truth. I also feel like same thing with patterns. Patterns always reveal the truth. Not much to add from what I've already said, but yeah, the I am not sleeping with you gives myself time and their person time to really sit with whatever feelings it is they think they have for me and wonder if it's genuine and if they're willing to pursue it in a non-sexual way. As I've said, most of the times they don't. But yeah, I think to protect yourself, if you want to, if you are not celibate, is it abstinent or celibate? Because I feel like celibacy might be for like for priests and abstinence might be when you're holding off sex, whichever it is. If you want to maybe get them, like truly know a person, I strongly advocate not sleeping with them for the first few months. Just get to know who they are, get to know their aspirations, get to know what ticks them off, get to know what makes them laugh, what makes them smile. Just get to know them outside of the bedroom, get to know them outside of the bed. And I know it's very hard to do, especially nowadays since sex is literally shoved in our faces. It's very hard, but in the long run, I feel like it makes it easier for you to choose a life partner and it makes it easier for you to heal from a heartbreak than if you were sexually involved with someone. So, yeah. Okay, my guys, that is all I had prepared for you today. This was a very first episode, so if it was a bit shaky and a bit cringy, I forgive me, we shall improve. But I really do hope that you enjoy these stories and our little conversations in between. Do let me know what you think on all four of them or just one. You know, I'm not pressuring you. I know that you're classy. That's a wrap for today's episode of Dust is Constant. Four stories for a very different kind of dust. If you've ever been dusted in love, friendship, or even a job, I would really love to hear your story. Send it in on my email or my Instagram, and I promise to keep you anonymous. And yeah, this might be a good time, opportunity for you to let it out if it happened and you felt like you had no one to talk to or nowhere to submit it. This is your time. This is your time. Take it and run with it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, the dust is constant, but so is growth. And I think that's all that matters. Okay, my guys, ka chonjo, kuna mutu, anataka kukumaliza. That's it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.